Hello, good evening. Good evening. We're here this evening to launch this book, which is titled The Law of Love, The Master Key to a Delightful Life. Presenter of this tonight is Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Achine Huwogo, the director of Lizzie Show, presenter on Lizzie Show Ben TV. Today, I'm here with the Faith TV to launch this book with my colleague and the owner of the book, who is my student, a very good student. So we're here to support her. We are here to launch this book today. Having said that, I am now going to introduce them. They have to say whom they are. If I start with Gloria, you can tell the audience whom you are.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'm so grateful that you come here today.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased. May God bless you so much. I am Gloria Pierre Ecclesiastes, and I am the author of this book, The Law of Love, the Master Key to a Delightful Life. I wrote this book when I was going through some quite experience. So the law of love brought me out of those complicated experiences that I've been through.
Well done, thank you. And young man, who are you? Can you introduce yourself to the camera?
My name is Dr. Akinseyola Tokumbaluko, and Gloria happened to be one of my good students. We've done so much together in the area of trying to look at business perspectives, trying to look at how business development can enhance what she's studying presently, and we've contributed to each other because learning is a two-way street. And I'm so delighted, I'm so happy, I'm so glad this book eventually came out, and it's been so awesome. The Law of Love and the Master Key to Delightful Life. Yeah, it's quite interesting because when I'm so happy for you, Gloria.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, TK. TK happens to be my colleague. We both work for Northumbria University, and this is where Gloria, studied. Gloria is one of our MSc business students. She's a very good student, hardworking. I'm not surprised that she has written this book. Anyway, so considering the time we have, we just have to go to the nitty-gritty of this book, and I'm pleading with the audience to please support her by this book. As you can see it, she has been on it since 6:30 today. And Gloria, I have to now direct everything to you because you are the celebrant, you are the author of this book. So what I want to find out is, why did you write this book? If you can tell the audience why you wrote this book and why you think love is important in life.
Thank you very much. As I said earlier, I said three things that caused me or made me to write this book. The first thing was that I made a decision to believe in God. I was going through a very difficult time where I lost everything and I lost hope. And I thought, what was the point of being on this planet Earth? What is the point of being born anyway? What is life is all about? Are we being sent into this planet to just suffer? I was in very, very bad situation. So being in that position, I decided that I'm going to believe God. And the reason that I made a decision was that I remember what God did to my father. My father was miraculously healed. So that was point one. Point two, in that situation, I find myself that I was going through persecution here and there and everywhere. Anything that I lay my hand to, nothing works. So I made a decision that instead of licking my wound, I am going to live. Yeah. Despite the state of my life, that I was even homeless, my children were taken away. And my children was the only hope in my life. When they were taken away, all of them, honestly, I was left in the situation when I thought, well, what am I? What is going on? What is the purpose of my life? There, I made a sound decision that I am going to live. Me, Gloria Pierre Ecclesiastes, in this land of the living, moi, I'm going to live. So the third thing that made me write this book was when I made a decision to love. Despite all the things that I experienced that people did to me, I said, instead of hating, instead of taking revenge, I decide to love.
That's interesting.
So I decide to love even those who hurt me, no matter what. Yes. You don't have to come to say sorry. You don't have to come to apologize or be nice to me. I made a decision that I'm going to love myself and I'm going to love everyone.
Others. Good.
That's quite interesting.
Good. Gloria. TK, you can see it's interesting because even though we teach you, and I know you as an intelligent girl, determined, as you know, I'm the author of Determined to Succeed, my book. In fact, I'm so interested in this book because it shares the journey to life. Just like the book I wrote, The Journey to Life.
It does, because one thing we need to understand about life is, life is a two-way street. I've always said that. People will come, they will hurt you. People will, say different things about you. They will try to make you feel bad about your own self. But one thing is, you need to be very focused. There's something about positivity. I'm actually a positive person. And I see positivity in everything around me. And it gives me hope that, yes, there's always a tomorrow. Yes. And the tomorrow is always going to be beautiful. And that's what I've read about your book. I was flipping through some pages of this book, and I saw some things that actually reflects about me. And I was saying, wow, this is interesting. For Gloria herself to come up with this, piece is something you need to be happy and appreciative to God about, So
yes, that's interesting as well. And I like positive people. So it's actually, you've done very well to be positive. And this is some of the things we teach you in the class. If you remember one of your modules, developing yourself, being aware of yourself, the moment you're aware of yourself, then you can know how to develop. So you understood that in the life is about forgetting. Life is about love. So you forgot the past and then decided to move on with the love of people. And the most interesting thing as well, which I really enjoyed, is about God. And this is what I preach as well, God. Knowing God, When you're going through hurdles in life, for the fact that you have God in you, He never lets you down. And sometimes I wonder how people can cope without God.
I've tried to chip in one or two things, Elizabeth. Even life itself is a lesson.
Yes.
If you don't go through ups and downs, and you don't go through some period whereby you need to feel sober and reflect on who you are, you might not be able to get to where you're going.
Yes.
And where you're going actually projects your future.
Yes.
Because if you said in here, you said, I want to pick one of your, where you said the kids were taken away from you, then it will happen. I do tell people, failure is part of success. Because if you don't fail in life, you don't know where to stand up. The only people that we call failures are people that refuse to get their bearing in standing up. And what do you think, Elizabeth?
Yes, but that is true. In fact, Gloria, I must admit, when I shared your book, when I read it, I said, my God, this is more or less Elizabeth as well. Again, I even though this is for you, but it's interesting that, people come across, life in one way or the other. Especially when you said you almost died. At a stage, you almost died. It happened to me. I used to be very sick when I was back home, which is why I wrote my book, Determined to Succeed. And how did I pick myself up? It's about believing in God, trusting in God. Okay?
Well, I want to ask Gloria, what happened? Just tell us a bit about yourself. Because the audience will want to know, okay, what actually happened? What led to you, feeling bad or being down and coming up with this beautiful book? They will really want to know.
Yeah, just before you say that, we are going to come to that in a second. But I just want to find out, first of all, I want you to give out that message because of the time as well. Then you tell us, what is the message you're going to give to the world? People are listening to you, they're watching you. What is this particular book, from what TK is saying? What message are you delivering to people in your own situation?
This book is about love. I believe that love is the solution There is the ultimate solution. You see, some people are abusing themselves with drug. Some people are leaning into sex. Some people are leaning to money. Some people, they are looking for something. We're all looking for something. But for something that we're looking, we can't even pinpoint. It was when I was in that dark hole that I realized that one thing I was seeking, I was looking for, it was love. And then when I decided that I am going to love, my whole being was energized. And that's when hope was born. When I decided that I'm going to love, I find a mercy. I forgive myself for my wrongdoing. I find a mercy to forgive those who wrong me. I find grace to be gracious to me myself and to be gracious to people. Love. I find that if we are practicing love, I find that the whole world will be at peace. We will not need to go to war against one country to another. The government will govern very well. The student will study very well. You know, the teacher will teach very well. The businessman will do the business well. Because when you serve the customer with love, look, when you're serving the customer, it's not a machine that you're serving. You are serving another fellow human being. When you look at them behind the counter, think as if, what was their day? They might have gone in a very bad situation. Maybe a phone call. Maybe they lost a job. Maybe it was a child who was sick. Maybe they lost somebody. When you are serving that person, think of them and smile. How are you, sir? You are looking good, ma'am. Thank you so much for doing the business with us. I appreciate.
Okay, well done, well done.
I know she's got a lot in her.
TK, you can see that she has actually answered your question, which is why I said hold on, because we are coming to it one after the other. So she's actually answered why she sat down and wrote this book. So that's the message. The key there, the most important thing is about love. I remember the first time I started my Lizzie Show program, the first program I did was about love. Loving yourself, loving others. And that was very interesting. Loving yourself. And from what you said, she's right.
Yeah, because one, I understand this life, people will wrong you. And you will wrong people. But one thing is, you need to learn how to, put things in the past. You deal with them within yourself, and you try to make amends. One thing about life is, no one is perfect. And not even the next door neighbor can be perfect. But you need to give people the benefit of doubt and say, okay, yes, this thing might happen based on a particular thing. It might happen based on situational. Because we talk about motivation. And there's situational motivation. You understand? So at times, for you to get motivated, it needs to be inward.
That's right.
It comes inward. It comes from your inner self. So it reflects and radiates around the people you're with. But if you are not able to pick yourself from that dungeon, everybody has gone through one or two problems in life. You've been in a dark hole. I've been in a dark hole. But one thing is, we were pushing on.
Right. And Gloria, another thing is, talking about love, how do you share that love with others? How do you use the love, the word you're preaching in your home, with your children? How do you actually do that? How do you show that love that you are telling us to love?
The first thing about love is the understanding.
Okay.
You have to have the understanding. I give an example. Suppose that you are a doctor, right? And you have a patient. Your patient is mentally sick. And then your patient come to you and you begin to punch you. You as a doctor, are you going to stand in kung fu with your patient?
No.
What are you going to do?
Well, it's your patient. You have to you show your love.
That's right.
You have to realize
the understanding that there is something which is not right. You as a doctor, you've been trained and qualified that you'll be able to detect that this behavior is not a right behavior. So with that, that's when compassion will come. So when somebody wrongs you, when I look at my kids, you know, I used to be a very tidy woman. My house, my father trained me very well when it comes to tidy. But my children changed my mind. because
I
Bless
look,
them. Bless them. Seriously.
welcome
yes,
to the show. Yes.
my children changed my mind about tidiness. So at times you just tied up the house is nice and clean and beautiful, but the next second the house will be upside down as if the tornado hit your place.
Exactly.
So I look at them. What are you going to do?
Oh no, you need to just find a way to make them understand these are things because we've been there.
Yeah, you understand that this is a common behavior for a child.
So for the love, you learn how to live in any situation.
You just have
That's
to
right.
find a way.
It's love.
You're
You know,
understanding.
Yes.
It will burst out from nowhere,
Yes.
and you start using it. Okay, one at times you just find yourself you just find yourself not doing the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But one thing is, that's why I do tell people at times you give a benefit of doubt to everything.
Exactly.
This person might have wronged you, but could there be any reason?
Any reason.
That means you're now trying to be. If you are trying to be as an extreme, you say, oh, you won't forgive.
That's right.
But when you're trying to be at least being human and find understanding to everything,
Yeah.
definitely the forgiveness will come from
will
nowhere.
come.
Yes.
And you know the thing I learned from your lecturer,
lesson.
from culture.
Yeah. Yeah. The
I
culture.
learned that another thing that people can get offended is because your culture background.
Yes.
And this again, you have to understand, you have to apply this when we are living in a society.
Yes.
We are in a multicultural world now.
Diverse.
Diversity.
The world is quite diverse.
So we
and,
have to be now be more tolerant between
Yeah,
each other.
yes.
You know, you can see me walking on the street wearing my gele,
Yes.
and you will not be looking down. What is this woman is walking like this?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm an African, so you have to understand that this is an African woman. She's dressing like this in the winter.
a proud one.
A proud one.
You made a good point. Actually, when I was coming this evening, I
Yeah.
had my costume. I said, I look beautiful. Why can't I walk like this on the street? Why
Well-
can't I go to the office like this? I
Yeah.
was thinking of that, and that's a good
I've
point.
always thought about
It's
it.
about
You know,
love as
I
well.
would want to reference Professor Ole Soyinka.
Yeah.
You know, at times I do admire the way he dresses
Yeah.
to wear.
Yes.
He doesn't put on the suit. He doesn't put on the tie. I'm not a tie person anyway. I can't see myself being wearing tie for 2 hours, 3 hours.
But it's not our costume.
It's not even about the culture or the costume.
Yeah.
It's not just part of me. Everybody has got their own thing. You understand?
That's right. That's
But
what
one
we have to
thing,
understand.
I also need to point out is the culture you mentioned. I was, talking to some people. One thing is you need to see yourself as beautiful. You need to see yourself as a being, a God-defined being, well created in a beautiful way. That is law of positivity.
Yeah.
But the time you start being feeling rejected by the society, there's something in this book that said something of the state. He's victim of the state. When you talk about victim of the state, if you're expecting something from the society, the government, the political situation, environment, and what have you. If you're not getting it, if they are not in your favor, I normally tell people, if the preferable is not available, let the available be preferred. For the time being.
Well done.
Amen.
Good.
Amen.
You are making very good point, valid point. Okay, so you've told us why you wrote this book. Okay. Now, another thing is, what example would you see yourself as a role model to others? Because you're preaching about love, we should love. Are you a role model?
Well, I don't know if I can say a role model, but what I certainly can say is that I love love.
Okay.
I love peace. I am a peaceful person. I value peace.
Yeah.
And I have found a comfort in love. I would say that I'm a master or guru of love.
Okay.
I'm not claiming that. I think the eternal God is the master of all.
Yes.
But I feel so deep within myself that love is so essential.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Yeah.
And it's so perfect.
Yeah.
And that if we can all together do our part
Yeah.
and love, even though just a little,
Yes.
just a little. It doesn't have to be, but just make a decision to just love. Love yourself, love the thing you do,
Yeah.
love your country.
Yeah.
Say thank you to your driver. Thank you for somebody who serve you at McDonald's. Thank you for someone who is giving you a hug. Just Love.
I'm actually coming to that. I'm coming to asking you, when you say love, you give us the steps about love and whom to love and whom not to love. Now, TK, coming
Yeah,
to
but,
you. Give me one reason why you should love somebody.
Okay, first of all, coming to the role model aspect of the question you asked the other time. Before I can take someone as a role model, the person has to be broken. You have passed through that level of being broken, and you're able to find your feet again. If you've not been broken, you've not passed through what I'm passing through. How do you want to give me that advice?
Okay.
How do I want to accept you as a role model? I would have seen that, yes, you've probably gone through some phases of life. For me to be able to say, yes, this person, I can look up to this person. This person happens to be a good example that I can follow.
Yeah.
So you now talked about, what was the question? You said love.
Yes, I want you to tell me, when we talk about love,
Yeah.
what is actually love?
Okay.
And how would you show love to anybody? Just one.
Love is a word that doesn't have a specific definition.
Okay.
It comes in different dimensions. If you say you love someone, it might be agape. It might be just emotional. And when you're talking about all these types of love, or you might be, you need to weigh the options. But in generality, you need to understand that, yes, you need to love thy neighbor. That is why at times when we talk about Christianity, when we talk about Islam, we talk about religion. Religion itself is preaching love, not what the doctrines are. If you love the next door neighbor and you are able to do what you expect people to do unto you, to me, I believe that is love.
That's right.
That's the Bible word, isn't it? Love yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. As you love yourself. Gloria, you brought us here talking about love. I just want you to now tell me how you share your love to people. I know you have shared with me in the class. You always love me. So tell us how you can extend to others.
Yes. The one thing I do is that I always see myself in the other person's shoes.
Okay.
I have to be you. I have to know that, first of all, we are all human beings and created from one God.
Yes.
And this God, who is a unified, eternal being. So that means that when I look at you, Dr. Tiki, I look at myself. When I looked at you, Dr. Elizabeth, I look at myself. So if I am doing to you as I would want it to be done to myself, actually I'm doing to myself.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is the way I share. So let's say, for instance, as I wrote this book, I was writing this book as if I was writing this book for myself.
Yes.
In fact, I'm reading this book. Before I go to bed, I take this book and my Bible, both the book and the Bible, they are beside my bedroom.
Yeah, I saw some.
So I wrote this book as if it was me.
Yeah.
I'm writing for myself.
Yeah, I saw some places where you went personal about your own self, your life history, and what have you.
That's it.
Yes, and also in your book, I know that I'm asking you, how do you show love? You actually said in your book that love is about being gratitude as well. So when somebody appreciates you, when somebody is nice to you, you have to be gratitude. You have to appreciate, and it's a part of love. And love is about loving Christ as well. So it's not just loving ourselves; it's also loving Christ.
Now,
who came and died.
Yeah,
for
if
us,
you actually
for our
say
own
you
sake.
love Christ or you love whatever you believe in, that means you love the people that's around you, that you have around you.
That's why the book is that the master key.
Yes.
So that means that when you find yourself in Christ, who is Christ? Christ is the Son of God.
Yes.
So there is a chapter here which is the identity.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
That
can
is
see
identity. You identify yourself with God.
Yes.
So when you come to that position with God, you will understand that God is love.
Yes.
So when you understand that God is love and He created you in love, so you are a loving person. You might misbehave, but your original essence is that you are a loving being.
Yeah.
So that is where you should always come back and remind yourself that I am a loving being. I have taken a step. This is not me.
Yes.
I am a loving being. As my Father is, so I am.
Okay.
I can see the passion in Gloria. She's
Yes,
so passionate
she is.
about the book, and
the
you need to
love.
be passionate because it's just like your baby.
Yes.
You know,
it's love.
and definitely you need to be passionate about your baby, your child, your children, and what have you.
Yes.
So this happens to be another baby of yours,
Yes.
whereby people need to join you in treasuring it,
Yes.
and passing the message across to the world.
Yes.
Okay, in
You
person-
can
yeah.
can get this book. You can even buy it now. There is an email address. You can call me. You can text me. I'm also this Saturday. I am in Edgeware, number 38 Station Road. My friend is opening a shop, and she dressed me up. I'm looking fab, I've been told. So if you bought this book now, which is here is £15, but you can find it on Amazon. Buy this
What's
book.
the name of the shop?
Marosiami.
Good.
Marosiami in Edgeware. So you can meet me there and we can talk. So
Okay, good, good. Audience, I'm sure you're watching us. As you know, we may not have enough time now to continue, but I want you all to know what we have delivered today. It's about this book.
Yeah.
As you know, you go to Amazon, you will see it.
Yeah.
And please buy this book to support this young lady. She has done very well.
Fantastic.
She's actually a master's student of our Northumbria University. She has more or less finished. And she worked so hard. And I didn't even know she was writing this book. I know she said, Miss, I'm writing a book. But
She has always told me, and I say, okay, just keep going, keep
yes.
pushing, and see the outcome.
So I didn't really know that, she was writing this book. So that's really interesting. So audience, please go and get this book. Read it. It's very interesting. TK
Quite
read
interesting.
it. You know how
I've read it, and I won't lie to you, I find it quite
you have a good message
fascinating.
delivering.
thank you
And
very much.
so what we're saying now is